kind of coaching tactic, or any needed to get a team that played that way 2 nights ago to play better tonight?
Well, yesterday was a busy day. It wasn't a comfortable day for everybody in the organization based on the effort and the outcome of the Winnipeg game. And it was uncomfortable for me. It was uncomfortable for our coaching staff. And it was certainly uncomfortable for a lot of the players when we reviewed the game collectively and then individually. We sat with groups. We sat with individuals. There were some positives in the game that we needed to accentuate, but most of it was holding individuals accountable, putting individuals on notice, if you will, and trying to improve. And that was the video part, that was the meeting part. Practice, we worked. It wasn't overly long, but we worked. We got back to that. I thought our leaders in practice showed up to work, which was a real good sign. Connor had a determination in his stride. The other guys that were the season A's, they were committed to working in practice. So indicators say that they'll respond. Now we've got to put it on the ice tonight against Los Angeles, and that isn't an easy task. As I said yesterday, some teams get in the way, and LA's one that can do that.
Apparently, Jujhar Khaira was one of the guys skating as an extra forward yesterday at practice. What was the rationale behind that? I
don't know if he was an extra forward or not. We have a bunch of extra guys on lines. We go with 4 guys on 3 lines sometimes. So I wouldn't categorize him as an extra guy on a line.
Along those lines, Todd, and I know we've asked you about Ovitu a couple times, potentially playing forward. Given the disappointment of the last game, are there any changes or
potentially? Yep.
Will Ovitu play tonight?
There will be. There can be some changes. There also can be some opportunities for recovery as well. When you when you hold your son or your daughter accountable and you turn them out, for whatever they've done. You open the door and you send them back out again. You hope they behave or they act better the next time out. And sometimes you react that way as a coach, and you open the door and you see if they can respond to their guidance, if you will. So there's 2 routes we can go.
On Khaira specifically, he maybe earlier on this season and even in years, he was really good some games, but then the game would disappear for a few. There was an inconsistency there. He seemed to buck that this year and earn himself some time. Do you feel he needs to get back to that? What have you thought of him lately? And I mean, that inconsistency that he hasn't shown, has it crept back in?
Well, we're talking about JJ as an individual. He had a poor game the other night. There was 19 others and 4 coaches that matched that. Where it's evident is how well he's been playing. That's why you're asking me about him. He's been playing so well. So I'd like to focus on that. He's been a big part of our team, and he's been playing so good and making so many good things happen that when he has that off night and doesn't play well, it really stands out like a sore thumb. But for me, that's a compliment to him for what he's done in the past. So let's see if we can get him back there. We don't want him to slip and get back to that comfortable level because I think he's become a real important player for us.
Todd, can you talk about Matt Benning's play as he slipped back again after a long stretch where he's starting to come on?
Yep, like a lot of young defensemen, ebbs and flows throughout the year. Struggled to begin with, had really good segment. Right now, it's not happening for him quite as well as he would like. And it gets magnified with the type of goal he gave up the other night. But that's one small segment of his play. We've got to look at the whole thing, and he knows he needs to be better.
Just to clarify, would you rather just wait till game time, whether OV2's in or not, and potentially playing up?
Yeah, we'll still look at, we haven't even seen LA skate today. We're not sure what they'll do. We'll figure it out.
Okay, and just from the standpoint of trying to cut the goals against down a little bit, the penalty kill obviously is important, but from a defensive play standpoint, what have you focused on the last couple of days, just 5-on-5?
Effort. If you just go back 2 days, that's today and yesterday, and without outworking teams, it doesn't matter what you do systematically or line match or defensive pairs or anything like that. You've got to at least bring your effort level up to what's acceptable at the National Hockey League level, and then from there worry about adjusting. And reviewing the 3 games since Christmas, I thought we had good effort in Winnipeg. We weren't overly smart. The Chicago one, we wavered a little bit. Obviously, the stinker against Winnipeg here at home was unacceptable. So we'll see where we go tonight.